you need a letter on my?
That would help, yes. And it should be addressed to Curtis.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we took no votes on the executive session.
Stay open.
There were no votes and the meeting ended. Now we go to old business. Do you have any old business for us? Anybody here have old business? Well, let me discuss one thing. You know, we had Charles Sisk came and did his presentation. I spoke to him after the meeting, and I asked him so that we can get started on it and have the information. Would he be willing to tell me exactly how it started, you know, and the first things they went through, so that I can, you know, get together with our board members, and then what we would do, the board members, if you wanted to, that I had the whole presentation video, and there, if we want to, I thought we would wait till he gave us the information, and then what we do, we would make up our minds about you know, the procedures that we wanted to go through, you know, if we wanted to adopt what he was saying, and then we could send a video to all of the starting wherever he comes back and he says he just started specifically with elected officials, just give us the information. And then we look at that, and if we wanted to follow through on that particular one, then what we would do is go ahead and set that up and go from there so that we can go through the program. But I wanted to do it like that, if that's in agreement with everybody, because I want to make it easy, and for just, he did a good presentation and all, but we really need to start out specifically how they started, so that we can look at it, because they had a couple of different things about that, and I wanted to get, you know, what he felt was the most successful, you know, in that for us to get started. Does anybody else have any comments on that? Because I'd like to get it going as soon as possible.
So when you talk with him, what's the next step that we take?
Well, the next step is that we get the information from him. I would present it to all of our board members, and then we could see about how, you know, about us starting, if we agree the way they got started. And so then what I'd like to do is send a video to a number of people who were unable to come, because I know they were actually working, you know, on that, and see who all we want to do, because the information that comes from Mr. Sisk will be talking about specifically who all was involved in it in the beginning and how we're going to pursue it, because it's important that the board you know, comes on board and want to go the way that they started at that location.
So wouldn't it be wise for us to determine who's our partners going forward with this? How soon could we determine on that? Partners. Not only, this county can't do this by itself.
Well, I understand that, but...
So who would be our partners going forward?
Well, what he's going to put us into the information, who the partners were with them in the beginning, you see, and then we look at this board, look at it, and see if we want to adopt what he has, what he will bring to us and give us that information.
Why don't you-
Then we can decide on that. Helen, you and,
Let me just
you
get
know,
that
Howard.
together and bring it to us,
Yeah.
and then we can
So what
go
you're
from
trying to
there.
what you're trying to get is, how did they take the first step in putting together this group of mayors
Yeah,
that all began to do the transit study?
yeah. I wanted to do it like them because obviously they were successful.
Right, but
You
I
know,
think
the way that they
get the information,
went.
and then we can decide who this should go to.
And then, as soon as I get that, I bring it to the board and we go from there.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
sounds good.
Because I think it's important that all of our board members, have that information and decide specifically. Okay. Now, one other thing, this will be new business. Anybody else on old business? Okay, new business now. Tim Eccles is on the Public Service Commission, and he happens to be a friend of mine, and the Public Service Commission is the one that regulates all utilities, like the electric company for one, and others. And he called me on the phone, and he said, Pete, there is a grant, that grant would pay 85% for a new bus, in that, and I'd like to bring it before your board members and explain it. What I was going to do is, he was going to be here, and the Georgia Municipal Association now is meeting in Savannah, and they start getting in Savannah about Thursday of this week. But he came in, he said, I'm coming in a day earlier, and I wanted to see if you would like your board members, I'd like to have them there so that I can explain about this new grant, old grant, whatever the case might be. And he wanted to do it at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. But then what occurred was the governor wanted us in Atlanta. And so I called up and talked to his assistant, and I said, could y'all work it out convenient to you while you're here for the Georgia Municipal Association about meeting about that grant, because I think that's real important to all the board members about that grant that he was talking about, and he'll give us the information on it. So I'll let you know. I should be hearing from him shortly, and I'll let all of the board members know, and hopefully that he'll be able to do it that's convenient with all of our board members.
So this will be a specially called meeting?
Yeah, we'll just have a special meeting for that. But we'll have to advertise that.
Right. And you've got to do that in 48 hours.
Yeah, you need 48 hours.
48 hours, and you can't do it tomorrow.
Well, it won't be on Wednesday. I think he's going to be here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday's council meeting.
Excuse me?
Thursday's city council meeting.
Well, I mean, he said originally like at 6 p.m.
Just see if you can work it out and let us know.
Well, it's just something that board members, whoever wants to come to it, and I'll find out from him,
Okay.
about a time element, and then I'll call everybody out and see if it's convenient for you, or if he has a second time element, and ask the board members so that the ones that want to come and listen to the Public Service Commissioner, because he has a very powerful position in the state. And so you just let me know,
It will,
concerning.
if you call for people to attend and it ends up being a quorum, and
For the newspaper.
that's going to make the Open Meetings Act requirements kick in with notice and the like.
Yeah.
So do you have
you have to give 48 hours notice in advance.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that, because I already mentioned that to his assistant when I was talking to his assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beverly, do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
How much notice?
48 hours.
48.
Okay, then, any other new business? Okay, meeting adjourned. Oh, does everybody know now that's going to Atlanta that you will be going to the Gwinnett Street area? You can park your car there inside, so it'll be protected if you want to do that, and have somebody not have to, drop you off and then come pick you up. It's up to you individually, but be there, please, at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And the driver that will be driving us is one of their top cat drivers, or one of their supervisors that will be driving us to Atlanta.
I thought you were driving. I thought you were driving.
I don't mind. Listen, I've been that route a lot of times with on city council's 8 years as vice chairman, and the same thing was chairman of the county commission, and I would take people with me to go to special meetings. In fact, I have such a good relationship and still do with a lot of those top people, like the Speaker of the House now for the state representative, and 4 of their representatives, 9 now, and then, and some of the state senators.
At some point, we had to get out of
contributions, and I've been able to help in legislation,
I know.
so the door's open.
What is this bus Tim's gonna talk to us about? I mean, is this just funding, or is it like some
No,
sort
the
of special
federal
electric bus?
government will give us a grant for $85,000 for each bus.